Hey guys, today you're going to get to witness the battle of two deadly droids as they go head to head. Let's see which one comes out on top. Is it going to be the Samsung Galaxy S3 or the HTC One X? First up is the processor. The Galaxy S3 runs on a quad-core 1.4 GHz Cortex-A9 processor, while the HTC One X has an NVIDIA Tegra 3 SoC with a quad-core 1.5 GHz Cortex-A9 CPU. So here you can see it is a tie. Let's compare displays now. The Samsung Galaxy S3 packs a 4.8-inch Super AMOLED display along with the 720p resolution, whereas the HTC One X also has a pretty sizable screen at about 4.7-inch IPS LCD 2 with a 720 pixel resolution as well. Now, the difference in pixel density is almost negligible. We have 306 ppi versus 312 ppi. The difference comes in when you look at sub-pixel density, where you've got one coming in at about 612 and the other at 936. Now, this is because the Galaxy S3 uses Super AMOLED display, which uses a pentile matrix, which means that there are 2 instead of 3 subpixels per pixel. The difference in display types goes beyond subpixel density. The Super AMOLED display has deep blacks, vibrant colors, and excellent viewing angles. There is some color shift when you reach the extremes, but the icons and the text remain perfectly clear. Now, the Galaxy's S3 software also allows you to choose from various levels of saturation. You actually have 4 options to choose from super punchy to slightly more toned down. The One X's IPS LCD 2 screen is 66% brighter than the opposition. It has excellent color rendering and viewing angles. The blacks aren't as deep as what the AMOLED offers, but the contrast ratios are so high that it really doesn't make a difference. And the other difference is in sunlight legibility. So the HTC One X actually, because of its brightness, it does pretty good under sunlight. But the non-reflectivity of the AMOLED screen does give the Samsung S3 an edge over its competition. The winner for the display round is the Galaxy S3. When looking at design, both of these two phones really differ in terms of hardware. The Samsung Galaxy S3 came equipped with a hardware key for the home button and capacitive keys for menu and back. HTC, on the other hand, went completely capacitive and emulated the Android ICS keys, home, back, and task switcher. This means that the S3 actually offers a more familiar experience, whereas with the HTC One X, you get the experience the exact way Ice Cream Sandwich wanted it. Both phones feature extensive modifications to the interface, which means that the experience is unlike any other phone. So there really isn't a winner for this round because I'm calling it a tie. When looking at the build of both of these phones, they are practically identical. It's not that hard to tell them apart, but they do share the same design philosophy. The only difference being is bigger is better because the Galaxy S3 does come in at a little bit of a bigger size. It also is thinner, but this really has more to do with bragging rights. It's statistical, not practical, so it's really like almost negligible. The difference between the weight of each phone is nothing you can actually feel. And the winner of the build round, Galaxy S3. Alright, so moving on to feel and user friendliness. Despite the similarities in terms of size and weight, they do actually feel quite different as phones. The HTC One X uses a polycarbonate unibody design, which is matte in appearance and really nice to hold. Whereas the Samsung Galaxy S3 uses glossy plastic, which might be durable, but it really wasn't pleasant to touch, and I really wasn't impressed. So here the winner is the HTC One X. Talking about multimedia, these two ice cream sandwich packages are quite similar in terms of core functionality. Even some of the added features are the same, like the aptX audio codec, which gives you high quality stereo sound over Bluetooth. You've got shot bursts, HDR, and the ability to simultaneously take audio and video are akin to both phones. So is the wireless HDMI connectivity. Normally, the software comparison would boil down to a decision between Sense and TouchWiz. Here though, Samsung is really tipping the scales in its favor by offering an impressive set of features, many of which are exclusive to the Galaxy S3. Alright, so the winner of the multimedia round is the Galaxy S3. So let's move on to camera now. The TouchWiz camera UI on the Samsung Galaxy S3 is customizable and fairly intuitive to use. The ImageSense camera suite on HTC One X is actually a unified UI for both the camera and the camcorder. Both apps offer simultaneous video and image capture, which means that while you're shooting video, you're also able to actually capture images in full resolution of 8 megapixels. Both devices offer burst mode, which means that you can hold the virtual shutter and the device will start clicking away at about 3 frames per second in full 8 megapixels. The difference here being that the HTC One X keeps clicking until you hold the shutter button, whereas with the Galaxy S3 what happens is that it automatically takes 20 pictures and stores them in your media gallery. We like the effects that HTC has actually added with the ImageSense application. You get a lot of Instagram options like vignette, blur, etc., but unfortunately the Galaxy S3 offers just the standard black and white, sepia, and negative. Most devices out there offer the HDR mode straight out of the camera app, as does the HTC One X and the Samsung Galaxy S3. The One X produces more dramatic looking results, whereas the S3 actually has a more subtle approach. Which solution is better is really up to personal preference. Now, the Galaxy S3 though does resolve more detail and the highlights aren't as exaggerated. So guys, overall for me, the camera winner would be the Galaxy S3. So guys, here's my verdict. The Galaxy S3 does have a better display, it's got better multimedia features, the user friendliness and feel is a lot better, as is the camera. So with all those coming out on top, the battle of the droids has been won hands down by the Galaxy S3. Hey guys, that was my take on the battle of the droids between Samsung Galaxy S3 and the HTC One X. Let me know your thoughts by posting a comment here, liking my videos, and subscribing to my channel. Take care and see you next time. Ciao.